And welcome to Upon Further Review. I'm Josh Aubrey. Plenty to get to. We've got basketball, baseball, a lot going on at Georgia Southern. High school baseball going on as well. Let's begin indoors, where the Georgia Southern men's basketball team continues to roll right along. Their latest two victories coming Thursday and Saturday, knocking off Arkansas Little Rock and then Arkansas State on the weekend on Saturday. The Eagles right now in a great position with one game left in the season. They've got to take on Georgia State coming up on Saturday with a chance at being the 1, 2, 3 seed on the line for the Eagles. As for the women, their swoon continues. They will not be participating in the upcoming Sun Belt tournament in New Orleans, Louisiana. So unfortunately for them, it's been a tough year, and they've got one game left on the road at Georgia State. As for the Georgia Southern baseball team, they had a big 3-game series this past weekend with the Georgia Bulldogs. Georgia comes in ranked in the top 10 for the first time in quite some time. The Bulldogs able to win the first 2 games. The Eagles in it because of some good pitching. And then in the third game, which was the second game of a doubleheader on Saturday, the Eagles able to come through with a 10-7 victory to take 1 out of 3. Up next for them, they'll be hosting Mercer in a midweek series on Wednesday at J.I. Clemens. As for our area baseball teams, Southeast Bullock Yellow Jackets game that was scheduled this week with Savannah High was moved from Thursday to Friday. The Jackets have games with ECI on the road on Wednesday, on the road at Effingham on Thursday, and then, like I mentioned, the game has been moved from Savannah High. Doubleheader on Friday in Brooklyn. And as for the Statesboro Blue Devils, they were in action earlier this week. They had a Monday game, were defeated at home by a very tough team from Benedictine, 6-5 in extra innings. They'll travel to Benedictine on Wednesday and then be back home at Mill Creek there on Friday. As for the Bullock Academy Gators, they were playing St. Andrews, and they unfortunately lost that game 3-1. We'll have some highlights of some games coming up for you in just a moment. And we've got plenty of Georgia Southern and area high schools for you coming up in just a moment. And a reminder before we go to break, hopefully you'll never be in an accident, but if so, please give our friends at the Sullivan Law Firm a call, 912-489-8888, or online at thesullivanlawfirm.com.
The Medical Center Pharmacy on Grenade Street is proud to be your Health Mart pharmacy in Statesboro. The Medical Center Pharmacy, locally owned and serving this community for 50 years, is open 364 days a year. The pharmacists at Medical Center know there's nothing more important than your family's well-being. That's why they take the time to know their customers, explain their medications, and answer any questions. The Medical Center Pharmacy, your Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Well, the Georgia Southern basketball team, men's basketball team rather, with 2 big games coming up. 3, 2, 1. Well, the Georgia Southern men's basketball team with 2 big games this past week. They had Arkansas Little Rock and Arkansas State on Thursday and Saturday. Let's send you out for some of the action. Georgia Southern hosting Arkansas Little Rock Thursday evening at Hanner Fieldhouse. Isaiah Crowley with the steal, and then the crowd pleaser on the other end. Next, the alley-oop, Quan Jackson to Crowley. Little Rock showing they can alley-oop as well. Chris Bankstar throws it down. Calvin Wishart then comes up with the corner 3. Quan Jackson driving in for the lefty layup. Next, the rainbow jumper by Crowley. He'd end up with 20 points, leading the Eagles in scoring. Nice moves next by Monte Glenn in the post, fighting his way in for two. Glenn then going in again. He'd have a double-double, 12 points and 11 boards. Jackson then off the steal going in for the dunk. Crowley then somehow gets this one to fall. Nikola Martic cuts the lead to one on the other end, but the Eagles respond with a run. Nice rebound and put back by Simeon Carter. Tukey Brown then goes high off the glass, 4-2. Wishart, one of four Eagles in double figures. He'd have 11 points here, hitting another three. Brown, two more of his 19. Elijah McCadden then plays beat the clock as the Eagles open up a 45-34 halftime lead. Move to the second half. Plenty of dunks, starting with Crowley. Crowley then the hoop and the foul hanging in the air. Tukey Brown doing likewise, the three-point play. Next up, David Lee Jones. The Eagles continue to find success penetrating. Tukey then spinning his way in for two more. Jones dishes to Crowley for the one-handed jam. Crowley giving as well as receiving. Monte Glenn throws it down, and Crowley then hits Glenn for another dunk. Finally, it's Tukey Brown throwing it back to Crowley. The windmill jam. Eagles win 81-66. Saturday, Georgia Southern hosting Arkansas State. The Eagles soaring early on. Isaiah Crowley makes one miss, pulls up, and takes it to the rack for two. Then it's the defense starting things. Quan Jackson, the steal. He proceeds to finish with the slam, two-hander. Eagles on a 7-0 run. Still more from the Eagles. Arkansas State, the turnover. Jackson to Calvin Wishart, who hits the three. Arkansas State regroups in a hurry. Ty Cockfield pulls up and nails the fadeaway. Moments later, Camberk Cuss getting in on the act. The Turkish baller with the bucket. Arkansas State continues to chip away. Christian Willis can't get it to fall, but Shaw Fritz with the follow-up. But the Eagles had the answers. The touchdown pass from Tukey to Wishart, who had the nice finish. And the Eagles go on to win this one 81-70. So a big victory for the Eagles puts them in a great position. If they were able to knock off Georgia State there on Saturday, they'll be either the number 1 seed or the number 2, depending on what happens with Texas State right now, a three-way tie for first place. If they are to lose that game, they could drop as far as number 4 in the upcoming Sun Belt tournament. So a big one. Hopefully everyone will get out and support the Eagles Saturday against Georgia State. We're moving outdoors now, the baseball diamond. We're going to get to some highlights in just a moment from Georgia Southern and Georgia.
What does it mean to have financial freedom?
At Queensboro Wealth Management, we're helping people figure that out.
And giving them a plan to get there.
If you have a desire to take control of your finances and live with financial purpose,
we
will use every bit of our knowledge to help you.
And there's no cost to get started.
Download a free kit from our website, then give any of us a call. QWM is Queensboro Wealth Management. Let's begin today.
Family Internal Medicine Associates of Statesboro, providing primary care for Statesboro area patients since 1998, providing complete physicals, complete sports physicals, Medicare wellness exams, full diabetes treatment, and education from lifestyle changes to oral medications to insulin pump therapy. In-house dermatology, in-house circulation tests and ultrasounds, in-house lab. And introducing our new nurse practitioner, Melissa Beasley, as we now accommodate same-day or next-day appointments to serve your needs. Family Internal Medicine Associates of Statesboro, where we care. Come visit us locally here in Statesboro at Piedmont Loop beside Walmart. Well, the Georgia Southern Eagles have been entertaining the Georgia Bulldogs for quite some time. This is the first time that the Georgia Bulldogs have been ranked in the top 10 in a while, and they were playing a 3-game series beginning Friday and a doubleheader on Saturday. Let's send you out for some of the highlights. A packed house, Georgia Southern hosting Georgia, the first of a 3-game series Friday evening, and the Eagles sending Seth Schumann on the mound here with the strikeout to end the inning. He'd have 11 strikeouts in the game, but Georgia's Emerson Hancock equally impressive, mowing down the Eagle runners. Scoreless through the first 2, the Dogs break through in the third with a runner on. Aaron Shunk sends one to right. Christian Avant makes a nice diving grab, but it's still good enough to get the run home from third and a 2-0 Georgia lead. Georgia Southern finally gets on the board. In the fourth, Stephen Curry, the single up the middle. Matt Anderson comes home, sliding in safe. It wouldn't be enough, though. Georgia comes back to win this one 3-1. Game 2 ended up being the first of a doubleheader. The Bulldogs start the scoring. One on Patrick Sullivan's ground ball up the middle brings home L.J. Talley to make it 1-0. Later, the single into right scores another to make it 2-0. Nice defense later in the third off the glove of Brennan Hayes. Austin Thompson able to get the runner at first. The Eagles get a run in the third to cut it to 2-1, but the Bulldogs get another in the fourth on a solo home run here to left by Morgan Meadows to make it 3-1. Hayes with his moments in the game as he'd come through with a couple of strikeouts. The Eagles would have their chances at the plate here. The bases loaded and 1 out, but Zach Christofak gets the 6-4-3 double play to end the inning, and Georgia wins 4-2. Eagles trying to avoid the sweep in Game 3, but the Bulldogs able to start out to a 3-0 lead. The Eagles get within 3-2, but then in the fourth, Jordan Maxwell, the 2-run triple to the wall, and the Bulldogs take a 5-2 lead. L.J. Talley adds the solo home run to right here, and the Bulldogs' lead is extended to 6-2. Davis then gets a run for the Eagles, bringing home the runner at third with the ground out. Then in the sixth, the wheels come off for the Bulldogs. Stephen Curry hit. That brings home a run with the bases loaded. Blake Evans then walked. That would bring home Austin Thompson to make it 6-5. Then Noah Searcy will be hit by a pitch. That ties the game, and the Eagles would go on to win this one by a final count of 10-7. Well, the Statesboro Blue Devils have been playing a pretty tough non-region schedule. It continued this week. They took on Benedictine. Unfortunately, lost that game 6-5 in 8 innings. They were also able to knock off Brunswick recently. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from that game. 3-2 victory for the Blue Devils at Mill Creek.
Friday night lights to early morning deer stands, Anderson's General Store in Statesboro is your tailgating and hunting headquarters. Boots from Ariat, Georgia Boot, Irish Setter, Wolverine, and more. We have a pair for you. Check out our Costa and Ray-Ban sunglasses. And apparel from Columbia, Carhartt, and Drake. Dove, ducks, deer, we have all your hunting needs. And tailgate with a Big Green Egg or Traeger grill. Pack in the flavor with delicious sauces and rubs. Haul it all home with a utility trailer. Anderson's General Store, a general store, and so much more.
At Badcock, no credit refused isn't just an offer, it's a way of business and has been for over 100 years. No banks, no ridiculous credit requirements. Just local Badcock store owners who treat you right and give you credit when others won't. It's never been easier to express your style and love your home.
A sports injury can stop you in your tracks. At Optum Orthopedics, our specialized physicians and staff use advanced orthopedic procedures with one specific goal in mind: to get you back to you. If you have a sports injury, request an evaluation. Experience the Optum difference.
So up next for Statesboro Wednesday, they'll be playing at Grayson Stadium against, once again, Benedictine Cadets, and then they'll return back to Mill Creek on Friday to wrap up their 3-game series at 6 o'clock at home. As for Southeast Bullock, they'll be on the road at ECI, and then on the road at Effingham County on Thursday, and then back home Friday for a doubleheader with Savannah High. The Bullock Academy Gators, as we mentioned at the top of the show, lost to St. Andrews. Their game was rained out for Tuesday. It was supposed to be their region opener at home against Frederica. That game has been postponed, and we'll let you know when they have decided to make that game up. All right, that'll wrap things up for now. We thank you for joining us. Hope to see you again next week. Statesboro High hosting Brunswick. The Blue Devils with Eddie Mitchell on the mound. And here he comes through with the strikeout. A little bit later, the Blue Devils start the scoring in third. Drake Horton's ground ball will bring in Austin Arendez from third. 1-0 Blue Devils. Next, Ames Ratcliffe with the drive to left. The sacrifice fly brings home Blake Stanford to make it 2-0. Bradley Groenfield next with the ground ball between the second baseman's legs. This plates Harrison Hughes to make it 3-0. On the hill, Mitchell solid. He'd have 9 strikeouts, and Statesboro wins 3-2. So the Eagles now 4-6 overall in the season. Up next, they'll be hosting Mercer for a midweek game on Wednesday. And speaking of Georgia Southern, can't forget about the football team. The spring practice continues this week. They'll be holding their annual blue-white end of spring game. That's taking place Saturday at 11 o'clock at Paulson Stadium. All right, stay with us. Coming up next, we'll head to the high school diamond.